Hello everybody, welcome back. This was supposed to be a completely different video. I was going to do some Winter Dream Address tours. I talked about this in a few recent videos that I put up. However, obviously we're doing something completely different. I cheated and I used Motherload to help the Broke family out because everything was in doom and gloom despair mode when I was playing their house. It was terrible. I don't know how people survived this. I completely forgot upon loading their original home, their single wide trailer, that Brandy is pregnant at the beginning of the game with a third child. And as such, because this is The Sims 2, pregnant women automatically get maternity leave. I don't even think she was working. I got her a job in the journalism career in this save because I needed extra income. Dustin is still a criminal. Shockingly, he got promoted and his grades are doing better. And I credit that to using the Max Motives cheat because I was sick of everybody almost dying. So Brandy gave birth to Oliver, Beau grew up badly, and here we are. I moved them into this craftsman style house that is in the district of Pleasant View where the Goths and the Pleasants are, sorta. You saw it in the neighborhood screen in the beginning of the video here. I did empty out their old house. I placed the essentials in Brandy's inventory, such as all of the furniture that I was placing around there. However, we don't end up keeping 90% of it. I think I just got rid of most of it because I upgraded a lot of their stuff. I kept the original fixtures in the old house, although I think that when you move a family out, when you move them to the bin and then back into the world, because that is how you have to move families in this game, you automatically lose all of the furniture from their old house. I think it's emptied or something. I know that there's an option to find your own place on the computer, but that only moves out one sim and not the whole household. And this whole time I thought that there was a way to move from the computer or something. I know you can do that in The Sims 3, so obviously I was getting that mixed up. I don't recall ever moving families around when I played this during the original run. I think I must have a few times because I do know that I played in that gigantic 3-story home that's on Right Way in this neighborhood, but I don't recall the process. So I was Googling it, and of course the Google AI overview thing that I got was terrible. It was giving me information for The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 when I specifically had typed in The Sims 2. I was finding a couple of conflicting pieces of information on Reddit and stuff, so I'm in The Sims 2 community Discord, and I asked there, and they confirmed that it is the bin. You have to move a family to the bin and then back into the neighborhood. You can't really easily do that if you're moving them to a different neighborhood. The only way to safely move Sims to a different neighborhood is if you move them in, and then if you don't have them interact with anybody outside of their household, which can be very difficult considering you might have to hire a service, or the welcome wagon or whatever might come by. They'll bring people home from school and work and all that nonsense. So I'm not doing that. And I also completely forgot that if you created any families, they were tied to the family bin in that particular neighborhood. It's not like The Sims 3 where when you make a family, they just appear in every single neighborhood, I'm pretty sure, or world or whatever they're called. In The Sims 2, if you create custom families through Create a Sim, they are in the bin only in that neighborhood that you created them. Did not realize that. Completely forgot that. Because again, it's been about 20 years since I've played this game properly. I did play it a bit, I recall, at the time that the Ultimate Collection was being given away, because I have that. And that was about 10 years ago at this point. It's very fuzzy memory-wise. Another issue I was having was that I swear, so I downloaded a Sims 4 conversion of the Everyday Clutter Kit from Lord Crumps, who converts a lot of the Sims 4 items and sets and stuff. And it said in the description, both on the website and in the Tumblr post, which is the same information, that it came with a collection file, but it did not come with a collection file. I searched the whole entire thing that I downloaded. There was no collection file in there. So at one point in this video, I can't remember if I cut it out, but you'll probably see me going through the collections 80 times. I think that I stopped, I paused recording when I was doing that because I swear, it said there was a collection file. There was no collection file, which is frustrating for me. So I'm gonna just have to make one, I guess, which it is what it is. Either that or I did something wrong when I downloaded the thing, but I know what I'm doing when I download custom content. Speaking of which, I finished, well, I say finished, but it's probably gonna be an ongoing process. I'm pretty much done for the most part with my spreadsheet of all all the mods and custom content and default replacements that I use, I'm going to publish that to Google Sheets, which means that it will automatically update and everything. So you guys can see that. It's very organized because I'm a very organized person. There's like different tabs for each thing. There's pictures like for the default replacements, like what replaces what. Everything is linked properly, like to different Tumblr posts and Garden of Shadows and Mod the Sims and whatever. And it's just, it took me a long time. I spent so much time downloading custom content and barely any time so far playing. I mean, I've built a few things, but like in terms of actual gameplay, not so much. And I know that that's like pretty much the typical way of the Sims player, is that you download a lot of stuff, but you might not play a whole lot. And that's okay, because I'm still having fun. There are a lot of cool things out there, and I think that's the blessing of this game being like 20 years old, is that there's 20 years worth of content out there just waiting to be downloaded. Of course, you have to make sure that you're like not downloading stuff that will conflict with other things. So I definitely recommend getting the Hack Conflict app, whatever it's called. It's HCDU. I think I also have that linked in the spreadsheet. It will go through your Sims 2 downloads folder and it will tell you if things conflict with each other. And it worked out really well for me because I realized that I accidentally downloaded the same thing, like that replaced the same default replacement, if that makes sense. I downloaded 2 pieces of custom content that were default replacements, but I think they replaced the same thing. And then it said that I had 2 pieces of default replacements that conflicted with each other, but they don't replace the same clothing item. It's for one of the toddler dresses, it's for the sundress that doesn't have sleeves, and it's for the dress that does have sleeves. So like there's individual things. They're 2 different items considered by the game, but for some reason the Hack Conflict thing says that they conflict. Don't take that as gospel. People online have said that sometimes it can definitely misfire. For the most part, for whatever reason, it's telling me there's like a couple of texture conflicts or whatever, but like I haven't really experienced any issues. I've experienced no issues actually. The only problem that I think I've really had is like sometimes when wants are rolled, especially upon first like launching a household or first moving them in, some of them will be blank, but I have the WF Sanity mod from Pescado, and I know that like that is supposed to run checks and stuff on wants and fears to make sure that Sims are not getting like improper wants and fears. So I'm pretty sure that that might have something to do with that mod. But I mean, I've not experienced any crashes so far, knock on wood, and everything has been going very well. Like there's been no weird issues. There's been no character file deletions. So far, I'm having a good experience. But again, this is not the Legacy Edition that EA released. Like I have the Ultimate Collection with the community patches. I run it through the RPC launcher. I have the IKEA pack and everything. A lot of the CC out there, like the custom content does, I feel like, require IKEA for a lot of the models that they draw from. Might want to look into that if you are playing the Legacy Edition to see if you can get the IKEA pack installed in there. It shouldn't be too difficult, although I know that EA has been very like DMCA happy recently in terms of the community, which I have some thoughts about that, but I don't think that they're for this video. I hope you guys are doing well though. It's going pretty okay here. The weather has been significantly warming up. We actually had terrible thunderstorms last night at the time that I'm recording this. It was really bad. It was very high winds like in the afternoon into the evening. It did stop at around I think like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, but we were under a tornado warning for a period of time. Everything is fine. There was no tornado. The sky looked like it was about to have a tornado, like in terms of the color and the atmosphere and everything. Surprisingly, my dog did so well. I'm so proud of her. She is afraid of thunderstorms, and it was thundering so badly at one point that the house shook. And I live in a moderately sized house, so it was very concerning, but she did so well. She will be 12 in April, which is next month. It's March 2025. So she'll be 12 in about a month and a half, like more than a month and a half. She'll be 12 at the end of April. She is my retired guide dog. For those of you who don't know, if you're new here, I am visually impaired. And so she had been exhibiting some anxieties as she's gotten older, and my vet recommended that I put her on Prozac. It's a low dose, so she takes it at night with her dinner at around whenever she gets her dinner, and it's been helping so well. Honestly, like she's a new dog. She's much more mellowed out. She she doesn't get as worked up and as anxious. She does get like excited, but not anxious to the point where like, I mean, the thunder wasn't bothering her last night. However, the vacuum bothers her still. She's not a fan of that. But it's really, I don't think so much the vacuum. She doesn't like the people that come clean the house. They come every other week and she freaks out every time they show up. They're not bad people. They're just two women. But I think that maybe it's the bleach scent on them and the fact that they're vacuuming the whole house and doing whatever they're doing. I don't think she likes it. It's different if like we pull out the vacuum and do it, but she just, there's something about them that she doesn't like and she freaks out and she shakes really badly and gets afraid, and I feel really, really bad for her. Even with the Prozac, I think that she just doesn't like them. Like thinking about it more in depth now. But anyway, she did so well last night. She fell right to sleep at around the time that we all usually go to bed. It was great. I'm so proud of her. She's a great dog. If you guys want to see any pictures of her, follow me on my social media or check out my social media. It's in the description of this video with my link tree where all my other stuff is. Speaking of other stuff, I haven't talked about this in a bit, I don't think, but I finished the 4th book in the Janie Johnson series. I think I mentioned this in prior videos, but if you guys are new here, haven't heard about this, I started this book series in high school-ish. It was written in the 90s. I swear the whole time I thought it was set in the 90s, but apparently I was wrong. Either that or there was some really weird convoluted time skip going on. But I finished the 4th book and I finished the little 4.5 novella thing. The 4th book I thought was alright. It was mostly filler. Not a lot happened. It was short. The novella also short, obviously, because it was like an intermediate, like in between sort of thing. But suddenly we're out of the 90s and in 2010 or something because everybody has iPhones and iPads. Swear to God, like the book prior to that, there were answering machines, there were bulky cell phones, there were laptops. So I think that it was like probably early 2000s that this was set. But anyway, I'm in the 5th book now. So far, I like it. It's long compared to the others, like at least compared to 4 and 4.5, because this is the final book. And I like that in the novella thing and in this 5th book, we're kind of getting more of a point of view of the kidnapper. For those of you who don't know, this series started with The Face on the Milk Carton. That is the 1st book, and it is about a girl named Janie who looks at a milk carton from her friend, like in the school cafeteria. She takes her friend's milk or whatever, and there's a missing child posted on the back, and she finds out that she is the missing child. So it's about the fallout from that in the 1st book and trying to like uncover the mystery, and then like all the books after that have been just this overarching plot and continuation, and now I'm in the final stretch. I'm not that super deep into the 5th book. I don't even think I'm a 4th of the way through. Maybe I am. I haven't really checked my progress. I've just been reading it. I read all my books on my phone and my iPad because I use the Kindle app. I don't buy my books from Kindle. I just use Libby to download them from my local library that I have a card with and then read through that. So it's been something that I've been entertaining myself with in my downtime, which hasn't been a lot. I've really mostly been reading at night because I've been doing a lot more content creation. I've been playing a lot of Sims and stuff, trying to, you know, churn out videos, trying to get a little bit ahead in my content calendar. I feel like I slipped behind a little bit, but that's okay. If you guys want to see any playthrough videos, I'm thinking of starting a legacy challenge. Maybe not in Pleasant View, potentially in like the neighborhood that I'm trying to build up. Again, have not decided fully yet what is happening with that. It's been something that I've been kicking around in my brain for a bit, thinking about doing. I've never played a legacy challenge for real. I started one a million years ago when I was a young teenager, failed at it, never did it again. I know that there's like a set amount of rules and stuff. I think I want to go for a random legacy and just have everything be totally randomized, like all of the aspirations, all of the everything, like the career, every single thing. Just roll a dice or flip a coin or whatever, and then just have every single thing be random, so then every outcome is random. Even when the chance cards come up for the careers and stuff, like have the option be totally random. Which, speaking of career chance cards, so I was playing The Pleasant Family the other night, and you know, obviously it's at the point where Mary Sue's at work, Daniel's home, the maid is there, the maid wants to ask him to hang out. I said no, so she went home. Mary Sue got the chance card at work that is supposed to fire her, but I just hit ignore. She was not fired. She did not come home early. I think she came home at the regular time, if I recall correctly. I don't remember. And then eventually, like a couple days later, she got promoted because worked on a couple of her skills. So everything is going really well there. Lilith and Angela are still pissed at each other. I cannot for the life of me fix their relationship. Even using the Sim Blender, I've tried to remove the Furiousness tag. I've tried to make them friends. They're still mad at each other and they still fight with each other all the time. I think it's just coded that way. I was just trying to mend their relationship and it didn't work out so well, but they're doing really good in school. And Angela's having a good relationship with Dustin. They had their first kiss when I was playing the Pleasants, and then last night I was playing the Broke family. So funny story. I downloaded Woohoo Teen, which is exactly what it sounds like, except it's an edit of a mod by another user to remove teen adult romances. So like that's not a thing in this mod. There's no teen pregnancy. It's just like strictly teen woohoo and that's it. So I was playing the Brokes. I had Dustin invite Angela over. I figured like, okay, they had their first kiss. Like their relationship is probably pretty decent. Like let's test out this mod. Imagine my shock when a cinematic cutscene started when they were woohooing. It's like the exact same as the adult cinematic cutscene like for the first woohoo, but I genuinely like I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not for a cutscene to just start playing. It was so funny. Like I wasn't like cringing. I was just like, okay, whatever. Like this is just hilarious. Like it's weird, but I think it's just because I have cinematics turned on in settings, and it makes sense that it would be tied to the first woohoo as a cinematic because like that's a thing in the game. I just wasn't expecting it to actually happen for teen Sims. I thought that it would just happen and that would be it. Like it would not be a big deal. There would be no cutscene. But because it was the first woohoo, there was a cutscene. I genuinely thought it was just going to be like the mess around interaction for The Sims 4 where it would just be like, okay, it's happening. There's no big deal. We're done. I guess I was totally wrong. They both got the memory for it and everything. So that mod works very well. If you guys are interested in that, I took one for the team. After I finally finished decorating this entire house, I realized that I didn't put curtains anywhere. I'm gonna go back and do that now probably, so you guys will not see it in this video. I mean, overall, it's not the end of the world. All it's gonna do is just add to the environment score in each room, but like there's no curtains on any of these windows, and that would suck in real life if you're sleeping and then the sun comes up and it's directly in your face. However, another mod that I've been enjoying is Paint Faster, which is exactly what it sounds like. And I got a bunch of like default painting replacements too, which are really cute. So I had Bo start painting and he made a cute painting. It's like, you know, a drawing of a cat like a kid would do kind of. And he's been gaining some creativity skills, which is great considering, you know, he grew up poorly. So I'm trying to rectify that. When we load in and we're done building and whatever, he's like having a tantrum, I think, because he's in aspiration failure or something, because like he grew up badly and he's not doing so great. However, another thing I did, I don't think I shared it here, I can't remember, you guys will know. I got like a bunch of conversions from The Sims 4 for items, like from the infant update for the cribs, and I put the one that looks like a pack and play in the living room downstairs of this house so that Oliver could easily just be transferred from one crib to another, and it would maybe like hopefully negate him from hanging out on the floor all the time. Since I've posted this video and done this build and whatever, they have grown up in terms of like Oliver is now a toddler. And I completely forgot that everybody's out of the house, so I did have to hire a nanny. She wasn't totally useless, surprisingly. She did change his diaper, she did give him bottles and stuff. This was prior to him, I think, aging into a toddler. I can't remember. The reason why Dustin is not wearing his giant ugly sports jersey and baggy pants is because I have a default replacement for that, because I hate that. I hate that outfit. I mean, it looks comfortable, but I just don't like it. So I got a bunch of default replacements. I do have a bunch of custom food recipes. I love Jackie93 Sims on Tumblr. She makes a ton of great foods, and that is what they're eating. They are having, I think, like tacos or chicken quesadillas, one of the two. But anyway, next time, I think we're going to be ranking all the birds in Animal Crossing. I will have to look at my calendar again, but that won't matter if you're watching this in the distant future. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.